Tonight, a shocking hit and run in the suburbs.
He was breathing like... So he was still breathing, but he was unconscious.
One more traverse, one more wrap to get to the base of pole dancer.
Trapped on a perilous ledge above the Tasman Sea.
That's a hell of a fall.
How on earth will they get him out? And dirt bike rider Casey's future...
Is it your back that hurts still?
...hangs in the balance. Cape Raoul, Tasmania. And that pinnacle up ahead is known to rock climbers as the pole dancer. This is Jade, with mates Hank, Dale and Tom. The boys call themselves Some 8, extreme adrenaline junkies.
Tommy and I just finished an absolutely insanely awesome 45-metre climb.
Bank climb.
Today's mission is to reach the summit of Pole Dancer. They're here, and they have to get to there.
So here we are, belaying Tommy over the Stegosaur pitch. One more traverse, one more wrap to get to the base of pole dancer. Anyway, we'll show you where Tommy's headed off, and we'll chat to you at pole dancer.
Jade's on GoPro, and that's Tom up ahead. Suddenly, the GoPro cuts out. It's Tom. He's fallen.
Police emergency. My name's Jade London. We're out at the end of Cape Raoul and we've had a fall in one of our parties.
What you're now hearing is Tom's actual 000 call.
I'd say he's probably fallen 8 metres. Will we be able to get to you on foot? I'd say it's probably heli rescue territory.
Apollo 71, departure time 3 HA, direct to Court Cape Raoul. Okay, now we are lifting off.
The Westpac rescue helicopter, call sign Polair 71, takes the job.
Interesting to see how quickly it takes us to spot the ledge.
Paramedic Peter will head up the rescue. He's been in the game for 15 years, but this is his first cliff rescue.
Haven't done a cliff rescue like this one before. We know he's on a cliff, but how far down the cliff is he? What's the ledge actually like that he's on? Taking a fall of that far, he could really have anything.
Got a fixed rope to here. Got a 3-point belay with some bomber cams.
The boys have anchored Tom to the rock face to stop him from falling. It's 40 metres from here into the freezing waters of the Tasman.
Site preparation done.
Tom's drifting in and out of consciousness. He needs to get to hospital.
You're right, mate.
You're in good hands, mate.
I feel like I'm in good hands.
Okay, we are approaching from eastern side of Cape Raoul. Check cabin security again, clear doors.
It's a beautiful bit of rock, isn't it?
It is.
Pete spots the boys of Some 8.
Got some red, yellow, low, I just saw how far he'd fallen and we've got to get him out as painless as possible. How are we going to get him out?
Year-old male pedestrian hit by a car, severe bleeding from the leg, in and out of consciousness.
The suburbs of Newcastle, and the crew of Westpac 1 is responding to a hit-and-run emergency.
Just got the power lines running away to the north. It's going to have one tall tree coming down the left-hand side.
The police are already on scene.
The police car that's pulled up off the side of the road.
Oh yeah, I got it.
5 off the ground. 2 off the ground.
The victim is 27-year-old Chris, a chef. Chris was out house hunting when he was followed by a car full of young men. Girlfriend Summer and cousin Crystal were with him when it all happened.
We're getting tailgated by a bunch of blokes in a black car, and we've pulled to the side to let them go past, and then they started doing a burnout. And Chris got out on the corner here, and they've come around in a tail whip, and they've clipped me cousin, and he's like flipped, rolled, whacked his head on the corner here. He was breathing like... So he was still breathing, but he was unconscious.
Hey guys, how we going?
The ground crew briefs lead paramedic Jeremy and Dr. Christian.
This guy, mate, really agitated. He's been hit by a car, and I gave him 5 IM because he was just thrashing about.
Chris has a deep cut to the right side of his stomach.
I'm just going to get Christian in the back with you guys. So, Christian, I'll let you do your patient assessment. Airway ABCs, get some obs for you.
But it's his earlier behaviour that's got the team on high alert. Agitation can be a symptom of brain damage.
This guy does appear to have a head injury. We'll have to try doing an RSI.
Rapid sequence intubation. It's the fastest way to take control of Chris's breathing, to prevent him from harming himself.
His pupils are both deviating, and it's starting to go up, which means he's got racing.
He'll be put on life support right here, out in the open.
It is a delicate procedure. It's one obviously performed usually in hospital.
Chris's girlfriend Summer watches on in terror. The medical team prepares to take control of Chris's breathing.
Good. I'm happy checklist is complete.
Cape Rail, Tasmania. And rock climbers Jade, Henk and Dale are doing their best to keep mate Tom safe. Tom fell 8 metres after a piece of rock he was clinging onto gave way. He's now complaining of back pain.
So this is where we're going to come into on this angle? Yep.
Just watch you drifting towards this column, yes, on the right.
No worries, yep.
Polair 71 needs to get in close so they can winch him out.
Still drifting right, mate. Jump lead. Might just have to be a high winch from here then. And they're both stepping out. All right, gear's going on now. Gear's going out the door. Clear to winch out. Clear to winch out. Winching out now. Position's good. Hold there. Move left 2. Left 2.
It's up to Yas to keep the helicopter steady.
Winch is in fast mode now.
Get in too close and the boys will get blown around in the downdraft.
As we're coming down, it looks like he's going to put us right on top of one of the columns.
Move left 3. Left 3. 2. 1. Hold.
Just as we're about to land on top of it, he moves the aircraft and scoots us right down the edge of one of the columns.
It's an aerial masterstroke.
They're in the column now above them. They're almost down, buggers.
But Peter and Chris have missed the rock ledge. "27-year-old Chris is fighting for his life. A hit and run has left him unable to move.
Monitor, if we can put the monitor up here, mate, as best we can.
Chris's cousin Crystal was the first on scene.
I ran and grabbed all those clothes and just started applying pressure until some dude come and helped me to put pressure on the wound until he started coming. Instantly he started doing these ones, and then by the time the ladies got here and they opened up to have a look, it wasn't as gushing as much as when me and that man applied like pressure to it. So I think that's a good sign at least. But other than that, mate, I can't tell you anything else.
Dr. Christian's worried Chris has suffered brain damage. They have no choice but to take control of his breathing.
Okay, so fluid's good, non-invasive blood pressure. Okay, I'm happy checklist is complete. Happy to go? Happy to go. Okay, laryngoscope.
It's the only way to guarantee his safety, to prevent further brain injury.
It is a delicate procedure. It's one obviously performed usually in hospital. It's going in, passing through. What we do is we place a tube down their throat into their trachea.
It's a confronting scene for girlfriend Summer.
Tube's going through the cords. Tube is through the cord. We give medications to sedate and paralyse, so take away their ability to breathe for them. So we're controlling how much oxygen they get. Okay, ventilator is connected.
Chris is now on life support.
So we're at the stage now, we've done all we can on scene here. It's time now to package this patient and get him to the aircraft.
Chris is loaded into Westpac 1, heading for hospital. He will need surgery.
We've RSI'd him, helped him with his blood pressure and his pulse quite a bit. Won't know much more, I guess, until he goes in and gets a scan done to see what sort of damage he's done.
Take off. Says off traffic helicopter, Westpac 1 is airborne, tracking to Newcastle.
We can't stop what's happened to the patient initially. What we can try and do is minimise what happens after. This is just a small part of this guy's journey through the medical system. The hope is here that if this patient needs a surgical intervention, it can happen a lot quicker for the benefit of the patient's outcome.
Casey. Look out, here comes Maniac again.
This is 14-year-old Casey. He's been riding dirt bikes since he could walk. But in a matter of moments, his riding career will be thrown into chaos.
Good afternoon. We're responding to motorcycle accident, Belgian Rocks.
Casey has flipped his bike and gone head first over the handlebars. The Westpac Lifesaver Rescue helicopter takes the call.
Just below us, 2 o'clock. Alright, got it down here, mate.
The local ambulance crew is already on site.
Alright, that's good there. You are clear to exit.
Hello, how you going?
Dr. Simon's briefed on the accident.
So he was towing it around, went head over heels, and then pumped his head, and then got up and then started walking around. All right. Have you got any pain in your chest?
Yep.
Whereabouts?
In my spine.
In your spine? Is that sore?
The motorbike's handlebars speared Casey in the chest, and he's now having trouble breathing.
Casey's complaining of a lot of pain in his back. His dad's with him and very anxious.
And Dr. Simon's worried about internal bleeding. Paramedic Ryan and the medical team prep Casey for an ultrasound.
We're just going to roll you onto your back, okay? Pop a needle in your arm.
I don't want to need it.
It's all right, buddy. Don't worry about the needle.
It's only a little nip, okay?
Casey is in excruciating pain.
Well done.
If Casey is bleeding internally, Dr. Simon will need to take immediate action.
We have to look at his chest and make sure both his lungs are working, because otherwise we'd have to cut some holes in his chest.
In Tasmania, Polair 71 is in the middle of an extreme winch rescue.
2, 1, hold.
Rock climber Tom has injured himself after falling 8 metres onto a jagged rock face.
The ledge is sloping at 45 degrees, and so as soon as our feet take some weight, we lose our balance and actually fall off the cliff.
We've got to come off that hook and rely on an anchor system that these climbers have set up. If we happen to fall and we're not into this anchor system, then we become the patients.
The crew is now safely attached to the climbing rig.
Go ahead, mate.
Subject with the hook, stowing the hook.
Yankee 9, sir, Yankee 9. Go ahead, mate. Yeah, the ledge isn't as big as it looks. So we'll just assess it and go from there.
Tom looked like he was scared and looked like he was in pain. There's ideal care that someone with his injuries should get, but I just can't give him that care in the circumstances that I'm in. So I've just got to get him out and get him into the hospital where they can give him that care.
Pilot Yass circles back.
Okay, now approaching to the target.
All right, let's do this.
Peter preps Tom for the long winch up.
So what's he anchored into now? 2 bits of rope. Can you work out who's taking it off?
Winching out now. Position's good, hold there. Gotcha. Just waiting for the hook up now. Let it go up and take the weight slow.
Okay, taking weight.
We've got them.
Control pass, good. Clear to winch.
Winching in now. Slight swing winch on the resting. We're about halfway up now. Position's good there. Hold.
This sort of job is why I joined. The challenge of it, the uniqueness of it, being out there in the remote setting and challenging yourself and your colleagues.
And slowly moving him in.
The crew eases Tom into the cabin.
Just ease him in slowly, mate. He's quite sore, this guy.
His mates are happy. They can see him leave the predicament he's in, and they know he's off to hospital. So it's very, very rewarding to go and do a job like that.
15 to run, he's got a big grin. Bringing gear in. Moving in.
Nice work, gentlemen. Very, very nice work. That is a once-in-a-lifetime job.
It is. Well done, guys. Good effort.
And they were switched on dudes.
Yeah.
They were making sure we were secure before anything was happening.
Yep, that's good.
Dr. Simon is checking Casey for internal bleeding after he lost control of his dirt bike at high speed.
I'm expecting to see a punctured lung or serious chest injury.
There's no bleeding, but his ribs are broken and he is still complaining of back pain.
You all right? Is it your back that hurts still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spinal damage is a real possibility.
Should we give him another milligram?
One?
Yeah.
Simon's priority is to manage Casey's pain and get him to hospital.
I am of the opinion that we should go to Lismore and CT him there.
So he's going straight to Lismore Hospital?
Lismore Hospital, yeah. Lismore Emergency, yeah. We're going to lift you to the chopper now. Have you ever been in a helicopter before?
No.
Yay.
He'll be picking on you again in a
Casey has to have scans. The concern is his thoracic spine.
Okay, just level skids. Lifesaver 4, we're transporting one patient to Lismore Hospital.
We're just being mindful of bats here as we come back in. We're going to be right on bat o'clock.
Night flying throws up its own set of challenges.
So mate, we're starting to approach, got the oval there. All clear.
At the hospital, Casey's mum Nikki is on tenterhooks. Dr. Simon and paramedic Ryan hand Casey over to the Lismore Emergency Department.
This is Casey Long. He's a 14-year-old motorcyclist. He got the death wobbles and fell over the handlebars, face planted into the dirt, no loss of consciousness, and then started complaining of back pain, chest pain, and abdominal pain.
Casey receives a CT scan to determine the extent of his injuries. Has he damaged his spine? Mum Nikki's stoicism hides a deep anxiety. She has to be strong for Casey.
I was in Woolies when I got the phone call and I had to hold myself together. And the guy at the checkout goes, "So how's your day been?" I said, "Oh, you know," just kept asking questions.
Just for my head, that's all.
At Lismore Base Hospital, Casey is waiting on the results of his CT scan. He is starting to panic.
Just keep a nice hill for us, mate.
What's wrong, mate?
Since that went in, he said he feels sick.
The pain, the medication, and the fear of permanent injury, Casey is overwhelmed with emotion.
There's a bit of a redness on your chest here. When did that start coming up?
We just noticed it. He's not going that good, he's struggling. It's a lot of pain. It's horrible.
Alright, okay, we'll give you something for that too, okay? No more stuff? So you don't have to have anything more?
Scary, really scary, you know, but try and hold it all together. As you do, keep everyone calm.
The CT scans of his spine are in. In Tasmania, the rescue team get an email from the Summate boys.
It's from Tom. A big fat thank you.
G'day guys, just wanted to say a quick, what are you talking?
So I'm doing well. It was 4 weeks yesterday since my operation and my arm is good. I got a gnarly scar. My sacrum's good, my spine feels alright. Yeah, thank you very much.
That's good, that's good news. Real good news. What we can see from the scan currently, there's been a bit of a fracture of one of the vertebrae. what we call it. And luckily there's nothing poking into your spinal cord that we can see, and there's no sign of any damage there at all to the spinal cord.
Which is great news, baby.
Okay, so you're very lucky that you've not done any proper damage. Okay?
Feel relieved and exhausted. It's pretty good news, really, for a motorbike accident. I'd love to say that he's going to turn his love and passion to fishing, but it'll probably be straight back on the bike when he can.
Tonight,
Ian!
lost in the wilderness.
Ian!
The desperate search for schoolteacher Ian.
What was that? Did you hear something then?
Ian!
The boat is going under,
Now we have persons in the water.
and they can't save them all.
Crew just swimming across.
Who will they leave behind?
Vehicle's got off the edge of a bridge in water.
And a young mum and her children clinging on for dear life.
The heart rate certainly goes up a little bit when there's kids involved.
The Westpac Lifesaver Rescue Helicopter Base, Lismore, and an emergency beacon has just been activated.
Okay, guys, we have a detection of a 406 E-bird in the vicinity of Evans Head, half a mile offshore. Details are a bit sketchy.
They actually made numerous phone calls to the emergency contacts with no success. So the alarm bells start ringing there that they're possibly in the water.
So what do they want us to do? Life raft or...?
We will throw the raft on just in case. The ocean's a very harsh environment. If we get out there, it actually improves the chance of survivability twofold.
The helicopter can track the signal to its original source, but there's no way of knowing how many people are in trouble. Paramedic Trent is a local surfer. He knows these waters well.
Yeah, obviously it's time critical when they're in the water. Off Evans Head is a shark playground and it's cold.
All good to go. Okay, we'll come up out of here, roll at about 120 feet.
We'll cross the coast this time and track into the signal. We still don't have any idea about vessel type or anything? Nah, mate.
It's eyes out all round as the crew scans the South Pacific for survivors.
Got some floating debris in the water.
Yeah, I can see it. Looks like a boat, doesn't it?
Looks like multiple person.
Once overhead, we identified we've got one sunken vessel. We've got 3 persons clinging to a railing on the bow of the boat.
Hobart, Tasmania.
Got a missing bushwalker down at Nevada Peak, which is southwest, around about here, only about 40 miles away.
In Tasmania, Westpac rescue helicopters are crewed by the police.
Hello, mate. You're late.
Constables Chris and Mick double up as rescue officers.
He was intending to be out Sunday afternoon. He's a school teacher, hasn't turned up at school. Either the walk's taken him longer than he anticipated, or something's happened.
The search is on for this man, 56-year-old high school teacher Ian. Ian's an experienced bushwalker and equipped with an emergency locator beacon. But why hasn't he activated it?
We don't know if this gentleman has fallen off the side of Nevada Peak. We don't know whether he's had a heart attack. We just know that he was due to come out Sunday afternoon.
Yankee 9, we've departed road lift and we're heading down to Nevada Peak.
The plan is to head to a walking track close to Ian's campsite and try and pick up his trail from there.
He's lost between his camp and Snowy North. So are we north of Snowy North?
No, we're south.
South.
Snowy North.
Right.
Ian's been missing for close to 20 hours. and he still hasn't activated his emergency beacon.
It's looking a bit squirrely up there.
Finally, a breakthrough. Ian set off his emergency locator beacon.
Well, at least he's alive, mate. We know that.
I believe he's heard us in the area. He knows that we're looking for him.
Fishing the summit, is he?
Yes.
The signal is coming from the peak of the Snowy Ranges, but the mountain is totally covered in cloud.
We're going to dump you two out. You're going to locate him or we're going to get fuel.
It's the unknown. You can keep processing it in your mind. Is he going to be able to survive till our guys can reach him?
Rescue Officer Mick and Paramedic Pete have to go in on foot. They'll follow Ian's EPIRB signal on their mobile phones via a topographical map.
Yeah, we've dropped our paramedic and rescue crew at K south of this EPIRB. Hello!
The temperature is dropping fast. Paramedic Pete's concerned the missing school teacher is at high risk of hypothermia, a life-threatening medical condition caused by prolonged exposure to extreme cold.
Your core temperature drops and your body basically starts to shut down. Your brain sort of stops functioning and you start making bad decisions.
They're relying on us to bring you back down here. That's not going to happen today.
Not with the ground we're making.
The terrain's really tough. We're dealing with slippery, large rocks, deep snow, chest-high scrub. We have to zigzag our way through.
Oh, you are?
My leg's caught.
Get up! Get up!
Tasmania, the Snowy Ranges, and the crew of the Westpac Rescue helicopter is searching for missing school teacher Ian.
We've got to get to there and then we've got to get to the next one. We're going to be all day and all night getting up there.
Adding to the challenge, there's only a few hours of daylight remaining.
Ian!
And there's still no reply from Ian.
Ian!
At Evans Head near Lismore, the crew of Lifesaver 2 has spotted the missing fishermen, clinging desperately to their sinking boat.
All right, let's go visual, about 150 out.
Dad Wayne, his 13-year-old son Andrew, and good mate Scott were out fishing in Scott's boat when a series of freak waves capsized the vessel.
Marine Rescue Evans Head, overhead that location now. We have persons in the water.
There's no time to waste. They're fatigued, dehydrated, and possibly injured. And then there's the ever-present threat of sharks.
A lot goes through your mind, especially the offshore jobs. You're there, you got to do it. Basically, it's game on. We're starting winching operations straight away.
What, mate? We just set ourselves up. Yep.
Rescue Officer Callum's dad is also in the service.
Have a thumbs up.
Callum's got the rescue DNA in his blood, but that doesn't make the danger any less real.
Bringing our rescue crewmen outside the cabin.
Roger, moving forward and right.
And clear the winch.
Clear the winch.
Roger, winch out. And maintain your height there, mate. Hook sun's way down. Put on right tube.
The vessel could go under at any moment.
Someone's in the water now, mate. She's swimming across.
Between the two gentlemen was a small child.
Callum battles the 100km/h downdraft to secure young Andrew to the winch harness.
Pretty intense underneath in the aircraft when it's hovering above you. There's spray everywhere. They're getting blown around still.
Just struggling with the life jacket with him. Go have a thumbs up.
Callum gives Jimmy the thumbs up.
Waiter's on the hook there. Yeah, he does look a bit cold, mate. Up on the seat, mate.
Andrew's safe, but Dad Wayne and Scott are still in the water, and a fishing vessel has reported a great white shark circling the area.
Clear that rope. Don't want to get wrapped around them if the boat goes down.
Roger, mate. And clear the winch.
It's back into the water for Callum.
Forward one. And hold. Just put him in the water.
Scott's a big bloke and his life jacket must be removed before Callum can get the strop on.
Having to keep him afloat without a life jacket makes my job a bit more difficult.
Forward one, and hold.
The priority is to keep the patient calm, pop the strop on and back up to the aircraft.
It's a big fella, this one.
Yeah.
With Scott on board, pilot Lockie weighs in.
We can't pick up too many people because none will exceed our maximum power limit. Make the decision that we need to drop these two before we pick the next one up.
That means Callum must stay with Dad Wayne until the helicopter returns. The coast is in sight and a rescue vessel is en route. Lifesaver 2 needs to get back in record time. Evans Head, northern New South Wales. 1 nautical mile out to sea, Rescue Officer Callum and Dad Wayne are clinging to a sinking boat.
You don't know what's underneath you. You don't know what's swimming up behind you. Off Evans Head has been so many shark attacks, so many great white sightings. It's just very scary.
Suddenly, there's a disturbing noise.
Is that hissing from the boat, isn't it?
It's a sign that the boat is about to go under. Callum's training kicks in.
If the vessel sinks, or anything tied or attached to it, it's going to go down with the vessel.
Keep away from all that rope.
And got Callum sighted there.
Lifesaver 2 arrives in the nick of time.
First hand away. Roger, weight's coming on. And bringing them on board. All persons have been extracted from the water.
Day's fishing ended abruptly. Oh, very relieved, very relieved. I'm going to go and have a shower now.
Maybe there is something wrong with him, that he's not capable of answering us.
Mick and Pete get no answer to their desperate calls to missing teacher Ian.
It's got to keep going until it gets dark, is that the plan?
And the temperatures now below zero.
Ian! Ian! Are you injured? Can you walk down to us?
We've been on the ground for 3 hours. It's a difficult decision to continue on in conditions that are dangerous and potentially could end up with us being injured.
A temporary rescue site has been set up at the base of the mountain. Ian's partner and friend have joined the crew.
G'day Louise, Chris. Nice to meet you. And Ian, isn't it? Chris, I'm here. G'day. How are you? Nice to meet you. Thanks.
We can't get up there just because the weather's so bad.
Yeah.
So, you know, it could be potentially a long night.
Ian!
We're there to save the man's life. We have to keep going.
Ian! Hello, Ian!
What was that? Did you hear something then?
There's still no reply.
Ian, is that you?
At the rescue base in Lismore, a report's come in about a shocking accident.
So it's a 28-year-old woman with chest injuries. Looks like her car's rolled off a bridge or come off a bridge.
Unable to access properly. Still in the vehicle.
So she's still in there?
And there are 2 children in the car.
It's her car upside down in water. Vehicle's gone off the edge of a bridge.
Lifesaver 4 is already en route. Mick and Ryan track the aircraft's progress.
So they're about halfway now. There's Tenterfield, and they're halfway. Not really clear on what injuries she's got.
Lifesaver 4, looks as though one person trapped by confinement.
Details about Mum and the children are scant. The crew knows every second counts. Just moments ago, mother of 2 Melissa lost control of her ute and ran off a bridge. 9-year-old son Leo and baby Mia were inside. Lifesaver 4 has picked them up and is heading for base.
They've just come into town now, so they'll be landing any minute now. We should be able to hear them.
Speed is below 80.
Clear, mate. Clear for doors.
Mum Melissa and baby Mia are on board. Son Leo is being looked after by friends. Early diagnosis suggests Melissa may have cracked a sternum.
Minor injuries to the kids, thankfully. They're all restrained. Mum had some chest injuries. It was quite a fall down the embankment.
Paramedic Trent has 4 daughters. He knows how anxious Melissa must be.
Mum's upset, mum's in pain. I want her to be happy. We need her to know that whatever treatment or medication she may have, it's not going to impact her breastfeeding. Because if she's got any doubt in her mind, then that's more stress for her that she doesn't need to worry about.
The priority is to get Melissa to the Lismore Base Hospital for tests. Chest injuries can quickly become life-threatening. High school teacher Ian has been missing in sub-zero temperatures for over 27 hours now.
Hello!
Rescue officer Meg and paramedic Pete are trying to find him.
Oh, could you heard something then? We're coming! Slowly.
We hear his voice, but with the poor visibility and the wind, we're still no closer to knowing where he is.
I've actually never found someone in these circumstances.
Their perseverance pays off.
Where you going?
It's Ian.
Are you as glad to see us as we are to see you?
Knowing he's safe and well is quite a relief.
You got the coffee machine on?
Well, I'm down to my last tea.
We've still got a long way to go to be able to get him out of there, but at least we found him and he's okay.
We're both absolutely knackered.
The news is radioed in to Joe and Chris.
He's warm. He's just geographically embarrassed.
That's a good result. Yeah, obviously he's been found safe, and we'll work out how to get him out in the morning.
Just get you to take a nice breath when we go to roll you, okay?
At Lismore Base Hospital, mother of 2 Melissa has severe chest pain after plunging off a bridge in her ute.
Basically, you need imaging. Sternal injuries can be associated with other more serious injuries.
Melissa may be bleeding internally. Dr. Doug helps prepare her for tests. Paramedic Trent hands 6-month-old baby Mia over to the ED staff.
Having a paramedic that had his own kids and could actually settle her was amazing because I couldn't do much.
The heart rate certainly goes up a little bit when there's kids involved, especially when you've got kids of your own.
It was a lucky escape.
I was worried about her in the back because I couldn't hear her crying at that stage. Considering we went over the edge of a bridge into a creek, so not only could we have died in the impact, but we were in a creek, so that could have been worse too.
But Melissa's not out of the woods yet. When her ute hit the ground, she hit the steering wheel. Hard.
We're concerned that you could have a fracture of the sternum for your steering wheel.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned about your spleen.
While Melissa's wheeled in for x-rays, there's no shortage of willing babysitters.
Waiting for Mum. She's gorgeous. She's very happy. Where's Mum? She's in there.
It's day 2 in the mission to rescue school teacher Ian. The weather has deteriorated. A second ground crew has been dispatched to try to reach Ian and the air crew.
Yo! Gorillas in the mist.
It's Mick and Pete with teacher Ian in tow.
How are you, Ian? A bit of an adventure.
But in this terrain, there's a way to go yet. Pilot Joe heads for the Lake Skinner rendezvous point.
There's a bit of a squall coming through at the moment, mate.
I immediately think to myself, this is going to be a little bit more tricky than I thought.
Plan now is to try and locate the track and then follow the track down to Lake Skinner, and fingers crossed the weather's clear down there. The helicopter will be able to come in and pick us up.
At the rendezvous point, there's nowhere to land.
You see them coming? Yeah, roger.
The only option is a hover pickup, but in the wind, that's a high-risk retrieval strategy.
Being close to the ground, you can get turbulence push you down towards the ground.
A sudden gust of wind throws the pickup into jeopardy.
As that gust came through, I made the decision to abort the approach.
Oh, coming up.
I'm thinking that's going to be it. That's just too dangerous and the guys are going to turn around.
But Pilot Joe's not one to give up easily. A break in the wind gives him another chance.
Can we come down low now?
Yeah, Roger, you can start.
You've just got to be respectful and take it slow and know what you can and can't achieve in a helicopter in those conditions.
Come down one and hold.
Joe keeps the helicopter steady.
Nice and controlled, mate. Nice and controlled. Yep.
The wind was just throwing us whichever way it wanted to throw us. Yeah, it was certainly one of the harder of entries I've done.
Okay, you're clear to come up. That sounds good coming up.
The most satisfying thing that I do in life is to see people that we rescue being reunited with their loved ones. It's the best feeling you can ever have. To save somebody's life and then have them be reunited with their loved ones is a feeling that I don't think you get in any other job.
Three months on, and schoolteacher Ian is passing on a few lessons learned to his students.
This is, it's called an EPIRB. It's a personal location device. It sends up a signal to the satellites up in the sky, and if you're going out into any place that's a bit risky, you always take one of those because it's a lifesaver.
But Ian's not getting off that easily.
Here's a compass and a map to find your way around the school.
To find the way,
Yep.
so I can find my way around the school?
Yep.
Thanks for that. I need that.
Tonight,
Temperatures up there go down into the minuses.
a girl's day out
Yeah, they're down here 3 o'clock low.
goes horribly wrong.
I'm just a bit concerned about the wind coming up off the lake.
Car is currently on its route. Patient is trapped by confinement.
Brad was T-boned out of the blue.
The scene looks pretty disastrous.
And now he's trapped.
Has he fallen along the side of the lake? Has he fallen out of the boat?
And the unluckiest fisherman. Stuck in the mud with no way out. Late afternoon, Hobart, Tasmania. And a girl's day out on Cradle Mountain has gone horribly wrong.
Last lot is 6:30, so we better hurry.
72-year-old Sandra, a highly experienced bushwalker, was hiking with daughter Tracy and her 2 granddaughters when she slipped and hit her head. Chris takes a call from Sandra's daughter.
G'day Tracy, how's Mum going?
She's starting to want to fall asleep.
Okay.
So we're just trying to keep her awake.
Chris knows the temperature on the mountain will drop dramatically after dark.
Have you got anything to keep Mum warm?
I've given her my rain jacket because we got wet. She's pretty cold.
If Mum's cold, if you and your girls could you snuggle up next to her and just a bit of body heat will keep her warm.
It's crucial to get Sandra before dark. Hypothermia or low body temperature can be life-threatening. Sandra might not survive a night on the mountain.
I've got a 71-year-old female. She's fallen over on Mary's Lookout. She's got a wrist injury and a possible back injury.
Follow 72 on climb 1,500.
Marion's Lookout's probably the steepest and hardest part of the overland track.
Yes, we're going to get there right on dark, aren't we? Roger.
She's wet, she's cold already. Temperatures up there go down into the minuses, and with the sun going down, it's getting colder.
The Yankee 9, we're approaching the search area.
Mist and cloud close in. Spotting the bushwalkers may prove difficult.
Just starting to clag in a bit to the left now, mate.
Pilot Yass is worried, and with good reason.
Conditions change every minute. We can't fly in clouds at night to rescue them.
Yeah, Roger, that's them. They're down there waving.
They've found the bushwalkers.
Another 5 minutes, it would have been dark.
The challenge now is where to land. Or not.
Righto, Pete, are you happy if we drop you out in the hover?
Yeah, mate, that looks good.
Pilot Yass holds the helicopter steady, so paramedic Pete can jump out.
Hold there, yes. The position's good. Pete's on the skid. He's out of the aircraft.
The light's going to fade on us pretty quick. Things get a bit more dangerous when it's dark, so we need to get up there and try and get the job done in the daylight. Hello. My name's Pete.
I'm Sandra.
Sandra, pleased to meet you. So you've had a bit of a bingle today, have you?
Just now, yeah.
Whereabouts are you sore?
Mostly in here, in
Yep.
the wrist, and it's hugely painful.
So Mum just slipped on that rock. It was pouring with rain, and she just slipped and fell forward.
So we need to try and get out of here before it gets too dark.
Yeah.
Any pain through there when I push?
No.
Take a nice big deep breath for me. Does that saw it all in there? You push against my hand. Yeah. Good.
Sandra's tough. She walked the entire overland track last year. But with falling temperatures, every minute up here in wet clothes increases the risk of hypothermia.
Yankee 930, Yankee 9.
Go ahead, mate.
Yeah, Roger, she'll be able to walk, just won't be able to use her left wrist to get in the aircraft. And I'm just a bit concerned about the wind coming up off the lake.
Roger, mate. We'll come up and make the assessment. We'll see you soon.
Roger.
Okay, it's all set again.
So what we'll do, we'll get the aircraft in and we'll get you to try and climb into it while it's sort of hovering nearby. You think you'll be able to do that?
I can't use this.
No, that's all right. We'll help you.
First aid must be put on hold. For now.
I won't bother having a look at that just at the moment.
That's all right.
We'll just get you out of here while it's still light, and then we'll sort you out once we get down closer, okay? Yankee 92, I'm standing on one of the locations.
With only minutes of light left, the helicopter reaches the summit.
I've got a visual on Pete and the walking group.
But it can't carry everyone at once.
So I need 2 of you. 1 stay behind, 2 come with me.
Pilot Yass manoeuvres as close to the ridge as possible.
I'll hover facing this direction.
It's a hazardous area. It is on a ridge line. We know we're not going to be able to put the skids anywhere near the walking track due to the nature of the terrain.
Keep moving forward 3, 2, 1 and hold. Position's good there, clear below, come down 3. Position's good there, hold.
It's a scramble, but they get Sandra and granddaughter Caitlin on board.
Hopefully they can get back to us.
Cradle Mountain, Tasmania, and 72-year-old injured bushwalker Sandra is safely on board the Westpac rescue helicopter. But the mission is not over yet.
All right, so if you guys come and stand here, it's getting pretty cloudy, but you should be able to get in still.
Paramedic Pete's remained behind on the mountain with granddaughter Juliet and daughter Tracy.
So I'm pretty keen for them to come back and pick us up. I need to get back down and make sure that I haven't missed any injuries.
Okay, coming down.
At the Dove Lake car park, Chris helps Sandra out of the helicopter. A fast turnaround is critical.
You want to go in that shelter there? We'll go and get the others and then we'll come back. Okay?
Back at the summit, paramedic Pete makes sure everyone's prepared.
Wait till you're told to get in, and then go as far down the back as you can go on the seats.
Yass circles back in for his second hover extraction of the evening.
The rotor wash from the aircraft will pretty much just try and knock you off your feet.
Yeah.
So just sort of lean into it, have a bit of a split stance, and
Okay.
I'll help you as well.
Rescue officer Chris knows there'll be no second chances.
I'm in a nervous and an uncomfortable situation. I've got people's safety at my feet. No one's comfortable stepping off a ridge line or a ledge into a moving helicopter in the mist when it's getting dark and it's freezing cold.
It's critical that no one loses focus now. One slip could lead to injury.
So I'll get the 2 family members in, then the gear, then me. Things are getting pretty intense. It's dark, girls are tired and wet, cold and a bit scared, so we just need to make sure we keep it safe and do things the way we're trained to.
She's coming onto the skid. She's coming inside the aircraft now. Pete's stepping onto the skid. Pete's inside. Need to rotate back down towards the lake.
Chris updates the base.
We're on the ground at Dove Lake. We've got our patients out. They're all safe.
In the lakeside cabin, Pete finally gives Sandra a proper examination.
Sore on the bone there. Can you rotate your hand? It's just that hurt, didn't it? Yeah. I can't tell you whether that's broken or not. The only way to tell that is through an X-ray. Okay.
We can go ourselves.
Sandra is a retired nurse. She's opted to make her own way to hospital.
You are more than welcome if you want to put her in the car and take her down to Devonport.
Thank you very much.
That's okay. It's our pleasure.
Pilot Yas reflects on a job well done.
Everything we do is, challenging, difficult, but we are all there trained.
Loss over 4, thanks. Understood. We're heading in that direction now.
Rough ETA 1430.
In Lismore, Lifesaver 4 is heading to the scene of a horror car smash.
Car is currently on its route. Patient is trapped by confinement.
The patient is 47-year-old father of 4, Brad. He was T-boned on a blind rise. His car flipped, and now he's trapped inside. Brad is married with 4 young children.
I got the area sighted. All cars blocked on the old highway.
The situation on the ground is hectic.
Still good on the road. Still clear. Tail's clear.
Pilot Lockie lands as close to the accident scene as he can.
Going to be right on the edge of the bitumen here, mate.
The car is a wreck, and trapped inside is Brad.
Just a roll over. He's got his leg up and around his steering wheel at the moment.
The scene looks pretty disastrous, but at this point, it's a matter of getting the patient out so we can do a thorough assessment.
Brad may have internal injuries. The other driver, Gordon, is about to arrive at hospital. But Gordon's daughter and granddaughters are still at the scene.
I seen the helicopter fly over and that was it. I was a mess. Absolute mess.
Look, there's the car.
Oh, it's in another truck.
Right now, Brad is the priority.
Grab my arm really hard.
But there's no way to evaluate his injuries until they free him from the wreck.
Yell at any time you want to stop, mate.
Tasmania.
We've got an injured fisherman up at Lake Augusta. Yep.
An urgent call for help has just come in.
Details are obviously pretty scant. He's broken his ankle, which has upturned him in the water.
Fishing enthusiast David came to Tasmania from Melbourne for some fly fishing with good mate Bruce. But now he's stuck here, somewhere in remote Lake Augusta. Heli rescue is the only option.
What's the flight time? About 40 minutes, isn't it? Let's call it 50 minutes.
To save time on arrival, the crew tries to get an accurate fix on the fisherman's position.
They're only a K.5 from the dam wall. They've described it when I spoke to them as a bit of a mud flat. So, I would imagine...
It's where the dam's lower than what it used to be.
I'm concerned about how we're going to find them. They don't exactly know where they are. The water levels change.
Lake Augusta is an operational hydro-powered storage lake.
I got the damn wall.
The water levels rise and fall every day. As they reach the lake,
Below 60 down, doors are clear.
It's doors open and eyes out.
So this would be the northwestern corner up here.
Has he fallen along the side of the lake? Has he ended up in the water? We're not really sure and the information's incomplete. So these are the things that make you be a little bit on edge.
As pilot Joe banks for another look, Chris spots something out on a tiny island.
Coming down the right-hand side of the aircraft, let's have a look at it.
Yeah, he just gave a wave.
They've found the fishermen, Dave and Bruce. But landing a fully laden helicopter on this tiny mudflat could be risky.
I reckon it's a bit foggy down there.
The Byron Bay hinterlands. And Brad is trapped inside his car.
We going under the pillow or on top of the pillow?
We'll go low.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, that's good. Get a protection.
Paramedic Trent is assisting the ambulance team to free Brad from the wreckage.
Make sure you're good. Just get him nice and firm. All right, just going to come downhill a little bit, mate.
After an hour's battle, Brad is finally out of his overturned car.
On 3, 1, 2, 3.
Once we get out of the car, he's shaken up. He's got a laceration on his hand and he's complaining a little bit of pain to the side of his rib cage.
This is Dr. Brett's first chance to evaluate his patient.
Right, we're just going to try and get you towards the back of the ambulance, have a quick look at you, okay, bud?
Dr. Brett's concerned Brad could be bleeding internally.
How you feeling? Where are you most sore, mate? Sorry, buddy. Some big deep breaths in and out for me.
He's got significant right-sided chest pain, but there is no immediate sign of a life-threatening injury to the chest.
Any chest pain after an accident like this requires further investigation at hospital.
So I think we'll let you go in the road ambulance. I don't think you need to go in the helicopter, okay? I'll let the guys who've been looking after you already keep looking after you.
Brad's on his way to Lismore Base Hospital, but this ordeal is far from over.
Northern Control, this is Lifesaver 4. We're airborne, en route back to base.
Lake Augusta, Tasmania. And rescue officer Chris has spotted injured fisherman David and is trying to land.
You can see that one person's standing up and one person's laying down.
Yeah, he just gave a wave.
Pilot Joe's got a big call to make. Try and land and risk getting bogged in the mud, or opt for a hover extraction.
Bit foggy down there.
This island is normally underwater, so this is basically the bottom of the lake.
You go first, Lucky, and I'll follow you out.
Got that?
Move forward. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold.
This descent needs the utmost precision.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to give it a go. Right, okay, coming down 2, 1, and left is just touching. Just shut out so it is underfoot, mate. Yeah, it's good. The feet are on the ground. Are you happy there, mate? Yeah, I'm happy. We'll shut down then.
There you go. We're just going to shut down and then we'll come over, so just stay put. You all right? Got a paramedic on board. How's your leg? I'm Richard, by the way.
I think I've snapped the outer bone, just above the ankle. I heard a snap. I fell over, I couldn't take weight, fell over backwards into the water, and then got up. We made it to here. I just couldn't go any further.
Ideally, I'd like to take his boot off, have a good look at his leg to see if he's got good blood supply to his feet.
But Dave has implemented some first aid of his own.
I did all the laces on my boot, pull it tighter, just to hold it all.
I tend to think if you've broken it, it's probably better just to lie you down into a bit of a stretcher and keep it nice and flat.
It looks like his boot's splinting his foot pretty well. The imperative is to get him onto the stretcher, get him into the aircraft and get things moving.
If you want to try shuffling back at the moment and just see how you move, but if it's hurting too much, we'll splint it.
Dave's boot is doing the job.
Okay, well we won't worry about splinting it too much then, we'll just keep it simple.
Never thought I'd bloody step in a hole and stuff, eh?
1, 2, 3.
How are you? My name's Joe. My ankle went out, my knee went in. Don't know whether it's tendons or bone.
The crew heads to Launceston Hospital.
You didn't get any crowds at all? No, nothing. We let them all go anyway when we do. Ah, nice.
Alright, coming below 60. Doors are clear left and right.
How's that leg going now?
Yeah, it's alright.
Throbbing a bit?
Something's not right.
Chris updates Dave's wife in Melbourne.
We're in Launceston now. The doctors are about to take him in and assess what's going on.
All the best, David.
All right, thanks, guys.
No worries, mate.
Thanks for all that.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
I've no doubt he'll probably ring you in the next hour or two and tell you, you know, he's either broken his ankle or his lower leg, and yeah.
Lismore Base Hospital, the emergency department.
Brad, would you be able to sit forward for us?
The medical staff are concerned. Car crash victim Brad is finding it difficult to breathe.
Are you all right once you sat up?
Wife Christina watches on anxiously, while the ED doctor tests Brad's lung functions.
Brad, what I'm going to do is just have a quick look at your lungs with an ultrasound. This is just whilst we're waiting on that X-ray, just to make sure you've not got a collapsed lung. All good? All good on that side? That's reassuring.
Finally, Brad gets a quiet word with his wife.
Yeah, you're going to be sore for a while.
Getting it going now.
I can still see the car rolling.
Oh, okay.
Feeling it.
A dedicated family man with a loving wife and 4 kids. Brad's had a very close call. Tonight,
Could be injuries, it could be a major problem.
searching for bushwalkers in perilous terrain.
I definitely am picking up a signal.
But the SOS beacon keeps bouncing off the cliffs.
I've got something 1 o'clock low.
Somewhere up ahead is a stockman in trouble because his horse just fell on him. And an epic winch double through the canopy. Clip a tree and it's over. Maruya, New South Wales.
Beacon search, some walkers, yeah, confirmed.
And an emergency beacon has just been activated.
About 52 miles to the northwest.
Sammy is 19 years old. She started out as a surf lifesaver. Now she's a fully trained rescue officer.
We're not sure how many people are out there. We're not sure what the situation is, so it could be anything. So prepare for everything, really.
The Lifesaver 23 is taxiing for departure runway 36.
The beacon signal is coming from the southern end of Moreton National Park.
52 nautical miles. Looks like a pretty rough country up in the Tremor Creek area west of Milton-Ulladulla in the mountains.
Yeah, copy that.
But there's a lot of what ifs.
We know it's a bushwalking group, but we don't know the size of the group. We also don't know what is wrong, so it could be simply they're just a little bit lost. It could be injuries, it could be a major problem.
I definitely am picking up a signal, and I'm also getting the audio.
The rugged terrain is interfering with the signal, preventing the crew from getting an accurate fix on the bushwalkers.
They're obviously down deep in one of those gorges.
And there's no contact number for that either.
Pilot Matt changes plan.
I'm going to bring the speed back below 60 knots, and then we'll open the doors both sides, and we'll start our search.
It's now a visual search.
You're clear for the doors.
Roger, right doors coming out.
I've got nothing sighted on this side.
Hopefully they're not on the side of that cliff.
Horse country, northern New South Wales.
Thank you, we're airborne out of Lismore Base, 5 POV.
Lifesaver 4 is responding to a 000 call.
It's at Clarence Way, Copton here.
Been tasked to an incident with a male patient who's fallen off a horse, which then rolled over the top of him.
55-year-old Stockman Allen was competing in a local rodeo competition when his horse, Guilty Cat, tripped and fell on top of him.
Potentially pretty serious. Could be head, it could be spinal, we're looking at chest, abdominal and pelvic injuries.
But with the rodeo in full swing, there's nowhere to land a helicopter without spooking the horses.
It'd be ridiculous not landing on the showground if that's where he is. Yeah, but if they're having like a big gymkhana or something there, we'll send all the horses into a riot.
Be uncontrolled chaos. There's a lot of animals there and they're big, strong animals and they could cause all sorts of damage to people and property.
Somewhere down there, Stockman Allen is in excruciating pain.
Today it's Jethro aboard Lifesaver 4, how are you?
Rescue Officer Jethro works with the local control centre to find a solution.
We have got a site for you. There is a big clear patch with no vehicles or stock.
Great, thank you, and we'll see him shortly. Cheers for your help.
There's really not too many other spots, is there? There's just horses everywhere.
Yeah, I think it puts us far enough away from it, at least.
I think so.
Tender up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, position good. We're about 200 metres to the east down a dirt road. If we could get someone down to pick us up, please.
The police are on hand to escort the crew to the accident site.
Hey mate, how are ya?
How's he looking now? Do you know? Have you seen him since?
Oh, he's not real healthy.
Yeah,
and his horse would have weighed probably 600 kilo.
Yeah, right.
Local paramedics have prepped Allen for Dr. Doug's examination.
Hello? Yeah, I'm Doug, one of the doctors. Does your breathing feel normal for you?
No, it's all to breathe. I don't want to do big hails.
Yeah. Worst possible scenarios, severe crushing injury to the chest wall, compromise to breathing. This can be life-threatening. Any pain where I'm pressing?
Oh, yeah, something up the top there, right? There,
Okay.
that press.
How about along here?
Yeah, it's all there.
Okay, what we're going to do is listen to your heart and lungs and go from there, okay?
Dr. Doug and paramedic Trent set up an ultrasound. They need to test if Allen is suffering from a collapsed lung.
There's some cold jelly on the chest coming up, okay?
Collapsed lung means that there's air or blood accumulating in the chest cavity.
Deep breath in and out for me, Al.
And that means that the ability for the lung to inflate is quite difficult.
Oh, I like it.
Okay.
That's a time-critical type thing.
If Allen's lung is punctured, Dr. Doug will need to pierce open his chest to relieve the pressure. At the rodeo up ahead, Stockman Allen is struggling to breathe.
He's come off his horse and then the horse has rolled over his whole body.
Just moments earlier, his horse Guilty Cat tripped and rolled on top of him. A 600-kilo crushing blow to the ribs.
How bad's the pain right now out of 10, having had the pain relief?
A fair bit better, sad.
Along with a broken collarbone and possible spinal damage, Dr. Doug's worried Allen may have a collapsed lung.
Severe crushing injury to the chest wall can be life-threatening.
He's desperately thirsty.
What about a little bit of water?
We can give you something to suck on, but not to drink at the moment, I'm afraid. The potential risks if he was to have a lot to eat or drink is if he subsequently required an anaesthetic, there'd be a high risk of his stomach contents regurgitating into his lungs. I'd like to get you to hospital to get you fully checked over and get some imaging of your chest, okay?
563 to Northern Control.
563.
Patient will be transported by Lifesaver 4 to Lismore Hospital.
Alan is driven to the Westpac Lifesaver rescue helicopter.
A little bit concerned about the right side of his chest, possibly a little pneumothorax, which could be a little bit of air in the cavity there, which can evolve into something much more dangerous.
1, 2, 3.
How you going there, Al?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Happy? How's your breathing feel, Al?
Yeah, not bad. Take care, guys.
So it's going to get noisy now.
Yep.
Will be communicated by thumbs up, okay?
Copy. Mate just became airborne at Cotmanhurst. We're heading back to Lismore with this patient.
It's a 30-minute flight to Lismore Base Hospital. The crew monitor Alan's breathing closely the entire way.
Keep an eye on heart rate, blood pressure. Probably mainly at the moment is his saturation, which is the amount of oxygen he's carrying in his blood. With a chest injury, potentially, obviously he's going to struggle to oxygenate himself.
Alan's desperate for water.
He's particularly anxious at the moment. We don't want his stomach to have anything inside it because it becomes a risk during anaesthesia for stomach contents coming back out into the lung. So we want minimal fluids just to help keep him calm.
Final check radar.
Stop.
Landing gear.
Tree green.
Confirmed. Brakes. Brakes are on.
At the Westpac Lifesaver Rescue Base, an ambulance is on standby.
How you going there, Al?
My shoulder and my ribs, I think. The worst.
I'm going to give you some pain relief. Sometimes makes people feel a little bit funny. Okay, that's completely normal. It's really good pain relief. So just be reassured. If you feel a bit strange, that's okay.
Ever the tough stockman, Alan doesn't want any fuss.
I can stand up.
Don't you worry about that. We're gonna lift you.
Okay, righto.
Moreton National Park, southern New South Wales. And the crew of the Westpac Lifesaver rescue helicopter is searching for a group of missing bushwalkers.
Okay, we're just popping over the edge of this ridge line. Hopefully they're not on the side of that cliff.
I've got nothing sighted on this side.
We will go down to that creek.
Yeah, I've got something 1 o'clock low. There's a fluoro, looks like somebody waving a fluoro kind of flag.
It's a man, and he's dangerously close to the cliff edge.
Okay, he's definitely indicating some level of distress. I think we need to go and check him out.
It's a winch job, and Sammy's up.
Yeah, I think I might just take another harness down if it's just him. My first thought is to get down there and just suss out the situation, and hopefully we can help.
Moving her into the door.
Copy that.
Clear to winch.
And you are clear to winch.
Winching out
Pressures
now.
in the group.
There's always that bit of adrenaline when you're being winched down and you're not sure where you're going or what terrain. In a rocky landscape as well.
To right only 5, 4, 3.
The winch drop requires pinpoint accuracy.
I'm in full trust of Ewan. I've got the cliff to the side where I'm being put down, pretty steep rock. My life is pretty much in his hands.
3, 2, 1, hold. On the ground. And you're clear to rotate.
Clear to rotate.
This is Stephen, the bushwalking group's guide. He leads Sammy to the injured patient.
Rock hopping is not one of my hobbies, and I did have quite some falls.
Pilot Matt does his best to keep Sammy in sight, but he has to maintain a safe distance.
It is a very remote part of Australia. This is hardcore bushwalking country.
Sammy reaches the camp.
These bushwalkers were quite well prepared.
The patient, Grace, slipped on a rock and smashed her wrist.
They had supported her wrist. They'd also given her warm clothing.
Grace is in pain and needs an urgent airlift to hospital.
I attempted to put the harness on her, and I realised that it would mean putting pressure on her arm.
But if Sammy can't get the strap on, Grace can't be winched out of trouble. Moreton National Park, southern New South Wales. And bushwalker Grace may have broken a wrist. The injury and pain is preventing Rescue Officer Sammy from getting a winching strop around her.
Getting her in any other way but winching will be quite difficult, but winching will hurt her even more than she already is.
Time for a conference call.
Lasso 2-3, Lasso portable.
Lasso portable, go ahead, Sammy.
Bushwalker, she's got a broken arm. I've tried to put a strap on her and it's not working. Is there any other ways you can think of getting her out?
Pilot Matt sees only one other option.
We can actually bring it down to that creek out in front of us. We can probably hover entry her into the aircraft.
A hover extraction means Grace will have to enter the helicopter while it's still in the air.
There is a spot about 150 metres around the corner. Is she able to walk that distance, do you think?
It helps with some of the other bushwalkers. I'm sure we can get her there.
Right, Sammy, let's aim for that. We're going to play for you there.
Sammy and the other hikers help Grace across the perilous terrain to the pickup spot.
It's quite a trek. She was just struggling, and you could see that she was in pain.
The final hurdle is a steep rock face. Climbing this with one hand is challenge enough without the 100 km/h downdraft from the helicopter's blades.
Coming up against the downwash, it is quite tough. You have to put in a lot of effort just to get there.
It's in moments like these that the crew's training pays off.
We got her in and then safely exited the area.
Yeah, we've got Grace on board now. There's 3 others in that bushwalking party and they are going to walk out. Organised for an ambulance to meet us down at the Melton helipad, and yeah, we're looking forward to getting her on the ground into care.
The Westpac Rescue Helicopter Base, Tasmania.
Yes, speaking.
And a distress call has come in. It's another search and rescue mission.
Mountain biker got injured at Mount Wellington.
Rescue Officer Damien is also a mountain bike rider. He knows the area well.
Initial thoughts were to drive in with a full drive and get him out, but because of the suspected spinal injuries, we figured the best way would be winch him out with the helicopter, basically.
The person in trouble is retail manager Blake. Initial reports suggest he was speeding along a mountain track when he came off his bike and landed on a large jagged rock.
Good afternoon, Apollo 72, lift for Mount Wellington.
Tower Cleveland, parallel right 30, make a left turn.
How old is Blake?
31.
And he stacked his bike behind me.
Stacked his bike, he reckons he can hear and feel cracking in your back when he tries to move.
Mount Wellington is just 5 minutes by air.
And lots of high, tall trees, so it's not going to be a straightforward winch.
Damien knows where the bike track is, but the forest canopy is blocking the crew's direct line of sight.
Maybe that was a track we just flew over. Did you say it was in that gully?
It's where the track crosses the stream.
Okay, we've got a bicycle down there. Push by 3 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Yeah, I've got him down here.
Going to be nice and tight winch there, Vinny.
It is. Going to be a high one, 2 of those trees.
Paramedic Pete and Rescue Officer Chris need to be winched down.
Left door. Winching out now.
So you hooked up, you're out on the skid, and then you realise how high you are.
50 metres is a long way down, on a wire.
10 below the skid now, position's good there, yes.
The safety of the entire team is in Rescue Officer Damien's hands.
you're thinking in the back of your mind something can go wrong. There's so much potential for swing to occur when you're on the end of the hook.
Damien guides pilot Yass into position.
Clear forward one, and hold.
Clip a tree, and they're in trouble.
I'm waiting for a thumbs up, got a thumbs up, I'm slowing him down, position is good, hold. And they're on the ground now.
Paramedic Pete's worried.
The tracks are very steep and very rough, and for someone with spinal injuries, you don't want them bouncing around.
Blake's sitting upright.
Hello mate, how are you? Yeah, good. Better than him.
With a suspected broken back, Pete needs to assess him before moving him.
So which part of your shoulders? Yeah, pretty sore. That's good enough for me. Straight away I'm thinking that he may have damaged his spine and that we'll need to use the sked stretcher in order to get him out. We're going to have to pop you in a stretcher. Yep. We'll get you sorted with some pain relief.
Blake needs intravenous pain relief.
Just don't look at it, mate.
But as soon as Pete inserts the needle, Blake takes a turn for the worse.
I'm feeling pretty fine.
He's as pale as a ghost.
Losing my hearing.
Mount Wellington, Tasmania. And retail manager Blake may have broken his back.
It's deteriorating rapidly, so I'll start to give him some fluid to try and increase his blood pressure.
Paramedic Pete stabilises him in a stretcher.
What we're going to do, mate, is we're going to pick you up, and all we want to do is test the balance of the stretcher.
It's critical to get Blake to hospital, but winching him through the high trees is going to be a challenge.
Yankee 9 2 to Yankee 9.
Yankee 9.
You're going to be a sked stretcher winch. We'll get Swartzy to come up with the patient, and then I'll come up with the gear. 1, 2, 3.
Blake is carried carefully to the extraction spot.
Have a winch, please. Winch up, yes.
Rescue officer Damien knows the 50-metre winch up will be a real test.
Lead's good, height's good for that tree, so we'll hold this height.
Doing a sked winch is a difficult winch compared to doing a straightforward harness winch. The stretcher will spin at quite a fast rate. Obviously, it can be dangerous.
We're waiting for a signal.
Pete hooks himself in.
I've got a signal.
He'll accompany Blake on what will be the highest winch retrieval of his paramedic career.
Yeah, take it away.
Once your feet are off the ground, you're a total passenger. You're reliant on the air crewman to winch you up safely and the rescue crew on the ground to maintain the tension in the ground line to stop the stretcher from spinning.
Chris holds the line steady, but it's up to pilot Yass to keep it taut.
Clear back 3.
Even the slightest jar is bad for Blake's back.
They're almost halfway up now. Move back another 3.
Damien guides the winch through the treetops.
Coming up past the skid now. Inside the cabin now.
Blake safely on board. And now it's Chris's turn.
30 below the skids now. Position is good.
It is a challenging winch, so you've got to be on your game.
Bring him up level with the door. He's coming in now. Nice work, guys. Over the pad now.
Nice day for it.
Tonight,
It's almost one of those rub your eyes moments.
the Shark Cat is sinking,
It's semi-submerged and there's 5 persons between the 2 hulls.
and the fishermen are out of life jackets.
Hey, Mum. How you going?
Lachlan's horror leg snap landing.
Hopefully get the bones lined up by putting some traction and then drive the rod down.
I just wanted to find out how bad his pain was.
And the hikers don't speak English.
Up to helicopter, then...
And the crew doesn't speak Spanish.
I bet you Keith's having a blast on the ground with this bloke.
But they have to get Pedro out, and fast. The Australian Maritime Safety Authority, Canberra, and a distress signal has just come in. A fishing boat is in trouble somewhere off the south coast of New South Wales.
So we're on our way to an overdue vessel. Got a report of a beacon going off.
The Westpac Lifesaver Rescue Helicopter, call sign Lifesaver 23, is tasked with the mission to locate and rescue.
So we're heading for an area just north of Bateman's Bay. Okay guys, we're entering the search area now.
This is the boat's captain, 63-year-old Mohammed, and this is his son, Rory. He was the one who triggered the SOS alert.
Rob, can you come right, mate? I can just see something white in the water. Yeah, sure. Okay. Turning right.
1 nautical mile out to sea, rescue crewman Ewan spots something.
Over there at 3 o'clock at about a mile, just got something white sticking out of the water. It could just be a white cap or rubbish or something. Yeah, it looks pretty big. That's an overturned boat. Okay, speed's coming back.
It's almost one of those rub your eyes moments. There's this upside down shark cap and 5 blokes sitting between the 2 holes.
It's a time-critical situation. The shark cat is sinking and 2 of the men are not wearing life jackets. Central Tasmania, the overland track.
¿Un comentario de la ruta especial?
No, está bien.
¿Y el grupo qué tal?
Bien. Vamos, listo.
And a group of Spanish trekkers have called for help. 60-year-old Pedro, on holidays from Spain, is in pain and unable to walk. That's him you can hear in the background. The Westpac Rescue Helicopter, Polair 72, is on its way.
Okay, fellas, about 90 miles, looking at about an hour ETA for you, Keith. Thanks, mate.
Paramedic Keith has walked the overland track twice. He knows this part of the Tasmanian wilderness intimately.
We've been given information that isn't overly comprehensive on this job. I think there's a language barrier. Okay, left and right doors coming open.
Rain squalls and mist make spotting the walkers difficult.
It's getting lower and slower, fellas. Looks like it's getting quite murky up here in the huts.
Suddenly, Rescue Officer Josh sees something, a white flag. The walkers are calling for help.
Got a red rain jacket of some sort.
That visual, I reckon that's our target. Copy, mate.
I've never landed there, so I don't know whether we can or not.
It doesn't look like it's a landing spot, mate.
But certainly maybe a hover.
Paramedic Keith needs to get to ground to assess the patient, but the terrain is too soft for the helicopter to land.
Got a vision. He's on the ground. That's straight up.
Hello. An ankle injury. So,
This is Pedro.
you guys, one team. You're together.
His ankle is badly swollen. It may be broken. He needs an urgent airlift to hospital for an X-ray. But how will they get him out? The walkers don't speak English, and Keith doesn't speak Spanish. Bateman's Bay, the New South Wales south coast.
There's an overturned shark cat in the water. It's semi-submerged and there's 5 persons between the 2 hulls. Okay, Josh, do you want to get ready?
Yeah, I'm going to start getting my stuff ready.
Rescue Officer Josh is an open water retrieval specialist, but he has never had to rescue 5 men at once.
Moving Josh out now, clear to winch. Yeah, clear to winch. 50 to run, winching out. Got 30 to run now, line's good, speed's good, rate of descent is good.
2 of the fishermen don't have life jackets. It's a precarious situation, and Josh knows the risks. He's been a surf lifesaver since he was 6 years old.
Hold and Josh is in water.
I've made the decision to get the older gentleman without a life jacket.
Mohammed, the skipper, is first off the boat.
Getting him into the water to get up into the helicopter was a little bit of an issue. But that's just where the confidence has got to come in and reassuring the person that they're just going to be okay.
First survivor has entered the water. Clear to winch?
Yeah, clear to winch.
And Josh and the first survivor are clear of the water, winching in. Move back and left slowly.
Okay, back and left.
And they're now 20 foot clear of the water and moving up into the doorway. Good. Roger. And moving across the cabin now.
That's Mohammed taken care of.
Moving him out. Clear to winch?
Yeah, clear to winch.
Roger. Winching out now.
I've got the first guy out, and I know that there's one more without a life jacket.
Hold, and Josh is in the water.
Next up is Chop.
Yeah, Josh has a second survivor. He's clear to winch. Clear of the water. Okay, moving across into the door. And footnote 10, about 10 above the water. Footnote 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, into the water. Beckoning the third survivor.
Crewman number 3, Ali, is fatigued and struggling with the bitter chill of the ocean. The overland track Tasmania and the Westpac rescue helicopter Poldair 72 is responding to an emergency.
From Yankee 92 to Yankee 9.
Yankee 9, Yankee 92.
Yeah, look, there's a decent language barrier.
Pedro, a 60-year-old Spanish bushwalker, has damaged his ankle. He's in pain and cannot walk.
It does look like a lower leg fracture, so I'm just going to splint it.
Now, will a hover entry be very difficult with a broken leg?
There's no way Pedro will be able to climb into the helicopter.
But I think the winch is probably going to be most appropriate.
Agree with him. Yeah, we all agree.
He'll need to be winched to safety. Poldair 72 is running low on fuel. The hover winch extraction will burn more jet fuel than a straight land and exit.
We're going to go to Cradle Valley to get fuel, so you do what you need to do, and we'll be back as soon as we can.
Yep, that's perfect.
We're about to pop over Cradle to Dove Lake. One of my favourite parts of the world, this. Could be warmer.
Back at the track, Keith splints Pedro's leg. He needs to keep the Spaniard calm and brief him and his mates on the winch lift out. Easier said than done.
I just wanted to find out how bad his pain was. Can you ask him how bad his pain is, whether he needs pain relief? Pain, do you know pain? Word pain?
Pain.
Pain, sore, ow.
I bet you Keith's having a blast on the ground with this bloke and his language barrier. Very patient bloke, Keith. He is, I can't think of a better person for the job. Yep.
Pain relief? Morphine?
Que si quieres un analgésico o algo,
No. You're okay. Okay.
If there is no movement, there is no pain.
Understood. Yeah.
While Joe and Josh refuel the helicopter at the Cradle Valley fuel station,
She's thirsty.
So.
Keith gives Pedro and his mates a safety briefing.
Okay. Good. I will be like this. Okay. And don't put your arms out. Okay. Yeah. Me. Me. My job. When we get up to the helicopter, then.
But it looks more like a game of charades.
Gee. Cup of tea.
Roger, continue forward 30. 420, line's good, speed's good, radio descent's good.
On the New South Wales coast, 2 of the 5 stranded fishermen are safely on board Lifesaver 23. Rescue officer Josh has secured crewman number 3, Ali.
Clear of the water.
There was a little bit of fear there for sure. I mean, the unknown and the uncomfortable environment they've never been in before. And then once they get into that aircraft, it's just overwhelming relief.
The helicopter's full.
We've got a lot of fuel on board, so because we are so heavy, the pilots decided that that's as many as we can take in this load.
We're going to drop you back down there, and then we'll go drop these guys at Bateman's Bay.
Safety protocols demand that Josh stay behind with the two remaining crew members, Abraham and Rory.
We don't like to leave our people out in the ocean, but we also don't want to leave two people without some form of assistance.
In Tasmania, Spanish tourist Pedro has a suspected broken ankle.
Yankee 9 to Yankee 9-2. Copy me yet?
Pilot Joe radios paramedic Keith to check the status of the winch prep.
Yankee 9-2 to Yankee 9. I'm ready, and I've done the safety checks with the patient.
Okay, the mission will be conduit into the target where Keith is standing. It'll be one winch, Keith, patient, all the gear.
It's too dangerous for the helicopter to land. The terrain is just too boggy. Pedro needs to be winched out.
Nice to see you. Thank you very much.
Pilot Joe moves the helicopter into position.
Can you hold here? Hold here. You there, Keith?
Yankee 9-2, copy.
I just want the spectators moved further away. I don't want them under the aircraft during the winch.
Understood.
We continue as before when we come in. Copy that. Forward and left one. Hold position is good, directly over the target. He has the hook. Probably to connect into the patient and himself. They have a thumbs up. Hold position, winching in the slack. Running there. Winching it now, winch is running fine. About 10 feet from the skid. Reducing the winch speed now. Keith's reaching for the skid, about to do a stop winch check. Winching patient and Keith up to door level. 5 o'clock.
Pedro's in safely.
Following in, lift the bags. Get in the door. Okay, they're both in. And we are clear of obstacles, doors closed. Shutting left door. I'm on comms. Hello. Hello.
So we had about 10 words in common. It's pretty hard to give someone a safety brief who doesn't know how to speak language.
Sure you did your best.
There were lots of arm movements.
Turns out Pedro fractured his leg in 3 places and dislocated his ankle. He spent 4 days recovering in hospital.
Beautiful once you get above the cloud. This is the way to fly. Thinks he's in charge of an A380. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be approaching Hobart in approximately 20 minutes. Weather for your arrival upon Hobart is clear blue 22. And the in-flight service is... In-flight service is... extremely poor.
Bien hecho. Job well done.
Catch any fish?
On the New South Wales coast, rescue officer Josh is taking care of 2 stranded fishermen, Abraham and Rory. They've been stuck out here for 3 long hours.
That's good, man. That's good. Your EPIRB went off. So good job for doing that. Because if you didn't do that, we wouldn't be knowing you're here.
I'm going to unload these guys hot then, Rob, and so we can get straight back.
Yep, all good.
Their mates Chop, Ali, and the boat's owner Mohammed are now safely back on land. Road ambulance crews are on standby to treat them all.
So when they come back, it'll be the same thing. Just keep your arms by your side the whole time and we'll go up. You take him first? Yeah, I will, yeah. No worries.
Okay, let's track back out. Okay, vessel sighted, tracking direct.
Lifesaver 23 returns to collect the 2 remaining fishermen.
All right, here they come. Lights move.
Forward 5.
Forward 5.
4, 3, 2, 1, hold, and the stropper's in the water with Josh, the 4th survivor.
Number 4 was quite tiring. I've rescued 3 people already. You're tired, you got to make sure that you're concentrating. Got him into the aircraft, and then from that moment it was like, yep, all right, 1 to go, let's smash this out and then get home.
Wedging him out now back into the water.
Coming down out of the aircraft, you know, you've got blades spinning, you've got wind in your face, and you've got so much concentration as to making sure you're doing it all right, but you've also got this awesome buzz that, you know, the adrenaline's pumping, you're rushing.
3, 2, 1, and Josh is in the water, beckoning the last survivor.
Last man off the sinking Shark Cat is Rory.
The strop's on, and take the weight now.
The last one, he'd seen 4 people go up before him, so I think he was a little bit nervous, the fact that he was the last one on the boat.
And they're 15 below the skids, and up in the doorway, leaving the door, your reference? My reference. Sure, and moving across the cabin.
Once we got him into the aircraft, the relief on his face was priceless, and that really sort of brought home the fact that I'd just rescued an entire family.
Not above 40 knots, you're clear to rotate.
That's right up there with one of the best jobs I've done. It's definitely the most people at once that I've rescued. So yeah, the satisfaction from that's amazing.
Okay, approaching landing site here.
Mohammed and Ali were lucky. They were not wearing life jackets, but the Shark Cat was fitted with an EPIRB. Without it, things could have ended very differently. To help save lives, Westpac has partnered with the Little Ripper Group to develop this, the Westpac Mini Ripper Lifesaver Drone. It's the latest breakthrough device in water search and rescue. A remote-controlled drone that can track and spot and drop flotation devices to beachgoers in trouble. The Westpac Little Ripper team has completed a trial program in New South Wales, working with Surf Life Saving, and is now rolling it out to protect Aussies in trouble. But out here in the bush, there's an entirely different set of rescue challenges to overcome.
24-year-old male motocross rider with a fractured femur.
The Westpac Lifesaver Rescue Helicopter is en route to the scene of a motorbike accident.
Yeah, you've got the creek down here, 11 o'clock. Yep, looks like there's some jumps.
24-year-old Lachlan is a dirt bike fanatic. He even designed his own track. That's it down below. But as he flew over the final jump, he crash landed badly and snapped his leg in half.
3, 2, 1, and hold. You're all clear on the left. Coming look over to the right. And coming down. Roger. Clear to the ground. Power's clear. Nice clear.
The road ambulance crew has been taking care of him in preparation for Dr. Doug's arrival.
Hi there, I'm Doug on the docks. How you going?
This is Lachlan.
Hey Lachlan, how you going, mate? Doug. Where's your worst pain at the moment?
Leg.
Leg, Jeff. Breaking your leg like this would be immensely painful. The femur bone is the biggest bone in the body. It takes considerable energy to break it.
The road team has applied traction to Lachlan's leg to minimise any movement. But there's a problem.
Is it possible to shorten up this leg traction? Otherwise he's not going to fit in there.
The traction rods are too long. They need to be shortened.
Okay, Lachlan, it's going to feel a bit of pushing and pulling on your leg. All right. Okay, Lachlan.
Don't get breathe.
Deep breaths, mate. Deep breaths.
That's good. Good job, Hayden. Yeah, that looks way better.
So now we'll take Lachlan to Lismore ED, where he'll have x-rays of his leg.
Lachlan is on his way to Lismore Base Hospital, but if his femur is shattered, he may never ride or walk again. Lismore Base Hospital, the emergency department. And Dr. Doug hands Lachlan's care over to Emergency Registrar Dr. Stephen. He's a veteran of the Westpac Lifesaver Rescue Helicopter Service.
This is Lachlan. A couple of hours ago, he was riding his motocross bike, lost control on landing. Immediate deformity and pain to his left femur.
The priority is to get an X-ray of Lachlan's broken femur.
Alright guys, X-ray.
So that's the femur bone, and this bit has been broken into several pieces with shards of bone up the top. So it's not a good fracture, no.
Surgery is the only option.
hopefully get the bones lined up by putting some traction and then drive the rod down through the middle of the femur.
Dr. Stephen needs to anaesthetise Lachlan.
Sorry, mate.
But the traction rods are in the way.
The strap, which is holding the tension on the leg, is just in the way where we need it.
As the team loosen the traction strap, Lachlan gets a phone call. It's his mum.
Hey mum, how you going?
He's putting on a brave face. But it's a bad break.
You got to say goodbye, mate.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, mum.
Hello, Stan again.
Just trying to find the femoral nerve, and then we can put a local anaesthetic in that. We can then numb his leg. We can move it without him having pain and move him without having pain.
Some more stuff. There we go.
The anaesthetic kicks in. Lachlan's leg is now numb.
How you going? That sore still?
He's ready for the surgery that will hopefully ensure he can walk again. Tonight.
She's been out there a long time now, and it's really cold at night.
Alice has been missing for 72 hours.
SES search team, flight 723.
Lost here, somewhere in the bush. Bonfire madness.
This gentleman has tried to light a fire using accelerant.
As a young man gets caught in the middle of this.
There is about 10 o'clock.
And she tripped on board one of the world's biggest cruise liners.
A lot of people actually die from a fractured femur, so it can be catastrophic for elderly people.
Now it's situation critical for Diane. The Araluen Valley, southern New South Wales. For the past 72 hours, the SES, the New South Wales State Emergency Service, has been searching for a missing tourist.
I have not had any contact. Have you got them in view? Over.
The missing lady is 65-year-old Alice. She was staying at her friend's house and went for a walk and never returned. The SES has called in the Westpac Lifesaver Rescue Helicopter Service to help with the search.
All we can do is keep looking. She's been out there a long time now.
Ewan has 20 years' experience as a rescue officer.
We're starting to get quite concerned. We really want to get her to safety before dark.
It's pretty mountainous terrain, so she could have slipped and fallen and hurt herself. Might be conscious, might not be. We don't know.
The plan is to locate the SES ground crew and widen the aerial search out from there.
Translating the information from the ground into something that makes sense to us in the air is a challenge.
The forest is dense. It's difficult to spot anything on the ground.
SES search team, ground ESO Simplex 1.
And now there is no comms reply from the ground team either. Officer Harley calls back to base for help.
Yeah, Control, have the search teams been advised to come to this channel? They're doing that now, over. Copy that.
So let's just keep searching.
I can see someone out to my right, RFS member. Yep, I got one. Yep. SES search team, flight 723.
The radio channels are back in sync.
Fisherman to light 723.
The ground crew relays a vital message.
Hello, this is Rescue 1, over.
Go ahead, Rescue 1.
Patient is with us.
Copy.
They've found Alice. The problem now is how to get down to her.
There's nowhere to use the winch down.
If you can guide us to your position, we'll have a look and see what we can do.
It's going to be a challenging winch. The trees in the area are up to 150 feet tall and the undergrowth is very thick. Finding a hole in the canopy to winch through is probably going to be our biggest challenge. Actually, go to the dead tree up there. That's the clearest spot. The dead one down here at 4 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Just in there.
3 o'clock low.
Yep. Rob, move right.
I reckon that's as good as we'll get here.
Yeah. Rescue 1, we're going to winch here. Hook's coming in. Rescue crewman's going on. And he's got the harness. Thumbs up from the rescue crewman. And winching down. And going down past the skids. Clear of the skids. And winching down. Our position's good at the moment.
It's 40 metres from the cabin to the forest canopy floor.
And winching down, just fending off. Main tail clear, position's good. Move right, 1, up on, and hold. Position's good. He's just going down a bit through a tree, and he's on the ground. Disconnected, and winching in the ambi hook. Just homing the hook now.
Ewan heads to the ground team's location.
He's a lot further from home than they said.
After 3 days out in the cold, Alice is most likely suffering from exposure. The Yarraluen Valley, southern New South Wales, and SES emergency teams have found missing 65-year-old bushwalker Alice.
SES control, we've winched in our rescue crewman. He's currently with the patient.
Alice was found just 1 kilometre from the house she was staying at. She'd been walking in circles for 72 hours. The challenge is winching a stretcher through the tightly packed forest canopy.
We have to make sure whatever that next action is, it's the safest action.
Rescue Officer Ewan has assessed Alice's injuries. She's dehydrated with minor cuts and bruises.
I prefer to use the body harness because it's more comfortable. Part of that comfort is also reassurance. She needs to feel like she's in safe hands.
Ready to go, Harley?
Okay.
Once I've got the hook, I'll connect you up then. You guys are free to support her now. Everybody else, well clear. Just be aware of debris falling from trees as well.
Yeah, this should be right on track for them.
So as we go up, I'll probably wrap my arms around you and cover your head because we'll be fending off a few of these branches probably. Keep your arms down, don't try and hold and grab things. Myself and Harley up there will do all the work.
Right, our hook is in my hand, hook is out the door. And clear to winch, winching out. 3, 2, 1, and hold.
Alice is finally on her way home.
Got a thumbs up, clear to winch. You are clear to winch. And just taking up the slack. Move right 3. Right, 3, 2.
There's only a tiny gap in the trees. This lift needs to be spot on and timed to perfection.
Just letting them rotate. Got a gap. Position is good. Move forward 1, and hold. Position is good. And it's just coming up past the canopy. 5 below. 3, 2, 1. And they're in the skids. Coming in the door.
There's a time when you bring the survivor aboard the helicopter and there's almost a visible exhale. That's the point where I feel the reward for what we do, and because it's that point where they know they're going to get home.
SES Rescue 1, thanks for your help. Last over 23 up.
Nice work, boys.
Decimal heli base, off you got for us. Voyager of the Sea, and it has a heli deck, okay?
An SOS emergency call has come in from a cruise liner, Voyager of the Seas, 80 nautical miles out from shore.
Heli deck on the bow of the vessel there, otherwise looks all clear of superstructure.
The helicopter can land on deck, but it can't switch off in case there's a problem starting up again.
We'll be turning and burning, so fuel-wise we'll just have enough for half an hour on deck.
We'll make it as quick as we can for you, Halsey.
Let's go. Let's do it. Okay.
The patient is 68-year-old Diane. Diane and husband Gary were enjoying a Pacific Island cruise when Diane tripped and fell down a staircase.
Sounds like she's fractured her femur, so we're going to go out there and try and land on the ship. But we'll have to obviously have a contingency plan. If we can't land on, we'll have to winch on.
Fuel management is a critical part of the plan. A full tank will get them there and back, just.
It's a big ship, but it's a big ocean as well, so it's our job to be absolutely precise with our navigation, otherwise we'll miss the ship.
And that will mean they could run out of fuel. On deep ocean rescue missions like this, the Australian Maritime Safety Authority sends a top cover plane to assist with the search.
Being 150 kilometres out to sea, there's certain risks and exposure that comes with that, and AMSAR provide that level of protection to us in case something goes wrong.
The search and rescue plane records the operation. They've found the ship, but can pilot Tom get them down safely?
The ship's actually motoring at sea. You've got pitch and roll of the ocean, and you've got a small heli deck, and he's got to land that helicopter on that spot.
The Voyager of the Seas is one of the largest tourist cruise ships in the world. Pilot Tom guides the helicopter in.
Still continuing in, good visual. Power check through coming, good visual still. Do a 60% full. 80% now, 75. That's really committed. Going up to the eye line.
Landing on a pitching, rolling helipad smaller than a tennis court requires pinpoint accuracy.
Oh, clear, my side, clear down. Continue. Let's go move forward slowly. Right, come on. That looks good. And down we go. Wheel shock, we clear out. All lower. Clear central line. Clear out.
From here on in, it's a turn and burn operation. The helicopter cannot risk shutting down in case a mechanical failure prevents it starting up again.
It's a time-critical job. We've got limited fuel and limited range, so we've got to have to be quick.
80 nautical miles out to sea, the Westpac Lifesaver Rescue helicopter crew is on a time-critical mission to rescue 68-year-old Diane. She's suffering from a suspected broken femur. The helicopter has 28 minutes of onboard fuel remaining.
If this was a land-based job, we'd be on the ground for more than an hour. I've got half that time, so we're definitely under the pump.
The ship's medical staff guides Dr. Richard and paramedic Rolly to the patient.
Hello.
So they got their own scoop.
Hi.
The medical crew have done an excellent job. They have packaged this patient really well. They give me an excellent handover with all the notes.
How you feeling? You okay?
Normally, I would put a nerve block in and make the leg go numb, but I can't do that today.
And that's because they only have 24 minutes of onboard fuel remaining.
We're just going to have to give us some pain relief through the drip and get it back onto the helicopter as quickly as possible.
The femur is the largest bone in the body, and Diane smashed hers right where it connects to the hip joint.
Going to put some hearing protection on you, okay?
The best place for it is a mainland hospital.
A lot of people actually die from a fractured femur, so it can be catastrophic for elderly people.
The challenge now is to get Diane safely on board the helicopter before fuel levels become critical.
Lift her up. Now stretching.
She needs to go, and she needs to go soon. Got to get her to a hospital that's got an orthopaedic surgeon, otherwise she won't be able to walk again.
It's going to be a hot load, so we've got to be really careful and cautious around the aircraft because the rotors are moving. Moving a patient on a pitching and rolling ship can be inherently dangerous.
And the noise from the engines makes the rescue even more challenging.
We can't communicate with the ship's crew because no one can hear anything, so it's all hand signals.
As soon as Diane is safely on the helipad, Rolly moves the ship's crew away from the spinning rotors. With 11 minutes of fuel remaining, Dr. Richard, Rolly, and the ship's steward get Diane on board. Job done.
That was 4-6 off the deck, so we were 19 minutes from landing to taking off. Very good.
Pre-planned it really well. Patient is stable and she's happy to be moving towards the hospital to get that hip fixed.
Hobart, Tasmania.
Okay, we're going to Bruny Island. There's a township called Adventure Bay.
And the Westpac Rescue helicopter crew has been tasked with a night mission. Early reports suggest a young man has accidentally set himself on fire.
This gentleman has tried to light a fire.
We'll go on call until midnight.
Using accelerant.
And then off.
It has exploded in his face.
The patient is 17-year-old Lincoln. He was visiting Bruny Island on a weekend away with mates when he tried to light a bonfire using a bucket of petrol. Bruny Island, Tasmania. And 17-year-old Lincoln has accidentally set himself on fire. The Westpac Rescue helicopter is on its way.
So I'm drawing up some ketamine, morphine, some Madaz. Time is not on my side.
Paramedic Andy, who is also an SES volunteer, knows burns are amongst the most painful injuries possible.
Aggressive pain management is really important for a patient with burns because the psychological injuries can remain with them for years. So easing their pain can also minimise the post-traumatic stress.
Target in sight.
Pilot Yas prepares for the landing.
And check for wires and everything's fine. Then we'll start descending.
The parkland is surrounded by tall trees and power lines. If Lincoln is badly burnt, the pain medication Andy's prepared will be vital.
His face is all quite seamed. He's got eyebrows, eyelashes, hair.
Yep.
He's got quite a large big burn from here.
Yep.
A local nurse briefs Andy on the situation.
I'll come round with you.
Yeah, this bird's swelling it.
Is it?
I'm particularly worried about any inhalation burns he might have where the inside of his mouth and airways have been exposed to hot flames. The swelling after this type of trauma isn't always immediate.
G'day, mate. How you going? Hey, Lincoln. Mate, my name's Andy.
Lincoln's face, arms and legs have been treated with an antimicrobial burn gel.
Squeeze.
Paramedic Andy examines his skin for blistering.
Is it this shirt that you're wearing, or have you changed?
I had a jumper on over top of this.
Is it burnt? No. Right. Are you allergic to anything? No. Do you want something for the pain?
No, it's all good.
You sure?
Yeah.
I've got the stuff ready.
The indestructibility of youth.
He's not too bad. He's got some superficial facial burns. His voice is getting a little bit croaky, but his face isn't quite as swollen as what I'd expect. So I think the pressure's off a little bit, but we'll still try to promptly get him up.
The medical team transfers Lincoln from the ambulance to the aircraft.
Sorry about the torch cover.
Be safe, Lincoln.
And I've got wires in front, about 50 metres ahead. 15 minutes to the cenotaph, yes? Yeah, about 2. Are you still comfortable with Johnson pain relief?
Yeah, no, I'm on fine.
But do you want to sit up, mate?
No, yeah.
Lincoln's burns are not life-threatening. His injuries will heal over time. But tonight's accident was a close call.
Last thing I remember is just flames in my face, and I was done the drop rock and roll because it felt like my face was melting, so yeah, that's about it.
Even after 11 years of paramedic work, I still get a huge sense of satisfaction helping people when they're at their most vulnerable. That and I seriously love night flying.
You gazing out the window there, Lincoln. It is so stunning.
These things are definitely express, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not slow.
3 weeks on, and the Westpac Lifesaver Rescue helicopter team receives a surprise video message from Alice.
I'm delighted to have this opportunity to thank the helicopter service. I was terrified being winched up on a cable into a helicopter, but Ewan Mackenzie is such a professional. He came down, he reassured me, he told me he would take good care of me. Thank you for your help.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very nice.